You know that feeling when you're staring at a page of text and you just know the real meaning is hiding in there somewhere? Well, today we're going to find the key. We're about to become reading superheroes, able to understand pretty much any text we come across. Let's do this. So, our mission kicks off on the shores of the Gulf of Mexico. Picture this: a massive oil spill happens. And this incredible team of experts, I'm talking scientists, vets, engineers, even pilots, they all rush to the scene. And they weren't just dealing with a problem, this was a full-blown catastrophe. I mean, let's be real, these people were superheroes, but to really get their story, to see the whole picture of how they worked together and what they accomplished, we need to become reading superheroes ourselves. And that means we need a few special powers. All right, our first power-up is all about cracking the code. You know how complex texts are just full of jargon and tricky words? It's time to unlock your word power and see right through all of that. Let's start with a word that's key to their whole story: collaborate. Now, you can see it on the slide. It basically just means working together. Simple, right? But in a crisis this huge, no one person or group could possibly handle it alone. This one word is everything. And this is where that simple word gets really powerful. The text points out they had to collaborate with other agencies, and get this, that even included NASA, who helped track the spill from space. Suddenly, collaborate isn't just some word in a dictionary, right? It's a massive team of experts saving a coastline. That's what context does. Of course, you can't have a superhero story without a big obstacle. That's the challenge, the thing that gets in the way. And for these responders, believe me, the oil itself was just the beginning of their problems. The source material gives us this perfect, simple example: a fallen tree in the road. We can all picture that. But for the responders, the obstacles were just as real, just bigger. Think unpredictable weather, crazy rough seas, and, of course, that massive, constantly spreading oil slick. Okay, so you've got a team that's collaborating to overcome an obstacle. So how'd they do it? Well, that's where function comes in. Every single person had a specific function, a special purpose. Understanding this word helps us see the whole response team as this complex, coordinated machine. Okay, so we're getting good at decoding the words, but what about how those words are put together? For our next power-up, we're going to reveal the text's hidden blueprint. We're going to learn to see its structure. Think of authors as architects. They use different blueprints to build their stories, and the one we're looking at here is a classic problem and solution. It's super powerful because it's so direct. It asks a question, and then, boom, it gives you the answer. And it's just such a clear way to get a point across. So, what was the problem? Marine animals were in serious danger from all that oil. And the solution? Vets and wildlife experts got right in there to treat the animals that were affected. Now, check out how things like this photograph and its caption actually support that structure. They're working with the words to visually prove the solution. We don't just read that the animals are being saved, we actually see it. That's not just a story, that's evidence. Okay, we can read the words, we can see the blueprint. Now it's time for our final and maybe most important power: using our X-ray insight to find the author's core message. This power is all about finding the central idea. It's the one big thing the author wants you to walk away with. After you've read it all, it's the answer to that big question: so what? But, with all the facts and details packed into a text, how do you spot the main one? Well, a simple tool like a graphic organizer is kind of like a filter. You can pour all the information in, and it helps you separate that single most important idea from all the smaller supporting details. And as we start to fill it in, the picture just becomes crystal clear. The central idea is that each kind of scientist had a very specific job. All those details, oceanographers mapping the water, biologists protecting animals, engineers fixing the well, they all just work together to prove that one big point. And just like that, your training is complete. You are now the explainer. You've got the toolkit to understand not just this story about some coastal superheroes, but any text you really want to get your head around. So let's do a quick recap of your new superhero toolkit. Step 1, unlock your word power. Step 2, reveal the blueprint and see the structure. And step 3, find the core message, that central idea. That's it. So why does all this matter? Because these aren't just tricks for a class. They're actual powers that let you see the world more clearly, understand it more deeply, and honestly question it more critically. You have the powers now. So the only question is, what are you going to discover next?